Hi, my name is Randy Rolfe, and I'm an independent consultant with Nikken, the world's leader in wellness technologies for the past 40 years. And it's my pleasure to be doing this product showcase. Nikken has been leading in the research and development of magnetic and natural energy-based wellness products to put our bodies back in natural environment since 1975. And this is these shows that we have live, almost 20 of them every week, are not from the corporate Nikken, but by us independent consultants sharing our experiences. And so I'm going to show you a few quick slides here. Let me get them up to keep me on track, because there is so much to share about Nikken. Discover active wellness and live it every day in a life of balance. That's what Nikken's all about. And from the very beginning, they've had a philosophy of balance and working with nature. I discovered Nikken 19 years ago, and I was already dedicated to doing everything I knew preventively to keep me and my husband and my kids healthy. And I became a nutritionist in the 80s to be able to teach what I was learning just for myself. And I also was a family counselor and was sharing what I knew about creating healthy families by doing all the things that we need to do: stay active, eat quality food, sleep well. So when I discovered Nikken, it took me 10 minutes to realize this is what I was looking for, because I was looking for a way to teach more people, reach more people with natural health. And I fell in love with the fact that Nikken had figured out how to create a healthy environment with magnetics. So it was like we were living outdoors all the time instead of indoors, surrounded by electric energy and concrete and steel and running around in our little steel and electronic cars. And now with Wi-Fi everywhere, microwaving us literally, we have products that help protect us from those negative energies. So just a moment, I want to mute everybody because we're getting some feedback. Thank you. So it was a wonderful discovery, and I'm so grateful for the people that introduced me to Nikken. One of the core things about living a life of health and balance is all the daily decisions we make every day. And that was my discovery working with so many families in the 80s and 90s, was that they would make big resolutions. I'm going to lose 30 pounds, or I'm going to talk nice to my kids from now on. But it was little decisions every day. You know, what are you thinking right now? What's going to come out of your mouth? And nutritionally, what are you putting into your mouth? Are you taking that, finishing that bag of cookies, or are you going to go eat an apple? It's those little decisions that build up to health and good relationships and happiness. And the motto of the company is humans being more. And I love that, because it's about, we all have the potential to be growing and becoming who we want to be. But if we make real poor lifestyle choices, all those 20 or 100 little choices we make every day, we become humans being less, humans under stress. And that's not where any of us want to be. So there's that compound effect that makes a radical difference in our lives. So what is the health context that Nikken is a leader in here? These are facts of how we're impacted in our daily lives. We know that stress is the silent killer. All the authorities say that the chronic illnesses that are shortening our lives are affected most by stress and lifestyle choices. And 70% of the heart disease, the cancer, the diabetes, arthritic pain, those kinds of things are exacerbated by daily stress. And we've had even more since the recession and all the toxins in our environment. And then the things that don't kill us but lower quality of life, like allergies, poor sleep, weight gain, fatigue, anxiety, depression, those of course are all impacted by the stresses of life as well. Sleep is a huge problem. Half of the country say they don't sleep well, up to 70% in some studies. And we know now that 1 poor night's sleep drops your immune system by 60% the next day. So if you are exposed to a bunch of sneezing people and you had a bad night's sleep, you're at risk for picking up some kind of infection from those people. We also know that sleep is when your hormones rebalance and your appetite gets rebalanced with the leptin and ghrelin imbalance. Also, the sexual hormones and the neurological rebalancing of the body, of the mind, and the whole nervous system rebuilds. And of course, the muscles recover and your body tries to alkalize itself. So sleep is critical, but you have to be in the deep levels of sleep. It's not just tossing and turning and closing your eyes. Air and water are headlines every day now. We know that over 7 million premature deaths annually have been linked to air pollution by the World Health Organization. And we here in America, even with our clean air laws, are not exempt from that. Indoor air can be 100 times worse than outdoor air, because in the 70s we closed up our homes to save on heating and cooling expense. And now all the chemicals that people bring into their houses accumulate, and it oozes out of our curtains and our bedding even, and our carpets, and cleaning chemicals, and then air purifier artificial chemicals that smell like pine, but it's toxic to the body. And water pollution, of course, Flint, Michigan is in the news, but lots of other cities have raised their hands and said, oh, we have a lot of lead too, or we have chromium-6. And bottled water may just have the tap water with the chlorine removed, and so that it tastes better, but it still could have thousands of contaminants in it. And so even endocrine disruptors and medications that have unpleasantly gone through somebody else's body before they get to us. So we need to do something about our air and our water if we want to lower the burden on our bodies of those toxins. Of course, the people that suffer the most are our children, and 1 out of every 5 adolescents was obese last time we did a count. And younger and younger kids are suffering from cardiovascular imbalances, cancer, type 2 diabetes, and it's not getting any better. Inadequate consumption of proper nutrients, it's not getting better, it's getting worse. Less than half of adolescents get the right amount of vegetables. Of course, low-income families are worse off. They almost often are in food deserts. They're targets for obesity-promoting product advertising. They have lower access to proper health care, and of course, more stress, anxiety, and depression because of the hardships of their lives. And only 27.1% of high school kids are considered to have the right amount of physical activity. This is the first generation in America that they're predicting that the kids will not live to as high an age as their parents. Their longevity is being cut short by these horrible trends. So what is the answer? It is about humans being more, but it's about taking an active part in your wellness, because it's not going to happen by chance. We have to be healthy by choice, by those daily choices that I mentioned earlier. So here comes Nikken. 40 years ago, over in Japan, the healthiest country in the world, they figured out it's not about more of this or more of that, it's about a balance. And the 5 pillars of health is the core philosophy of the company. And that a life of balance, happiness, and abundance requires a balance in all 5 of these areas: healthy body, healthy mind, healthy family, healthy society, and healthy finances. And my husband and I fell in love with this because we had both been Philadelphia lawyers. We gave it up because the lifestyle didn't give us time to focus on mind, body, and family. And actually, a big law firm, I wasn't doing a whole lot to help society either. So we thought we'd kind of sacrificed the financial pillar, but along came Nikken to show us that we could actually share all the wonderful things we'd learned about natural health and build our finances. But that's for another show. So Nikken did their research on creating the right energy field to keep the body functioning perfectly. And until 100 years ago, we didn't have electricity, and we didn't have concrete basements and cover ourselves with steel beams, and we were in touch with the earth, and all living things require that magnetic field. They were so excited when they found that at one time Mars did have a magnetic field, because there might be life as we know it, or have been, on Mars. It's that essential. So Nikken developed first insoles that give us in our feet that magnetic energy that feeds up through the body. And then they developed a sleep system. Then they developed water that's, again, magnetized and purified, and air system that purifies, and a full spectrum light I have here on my desk, and an amazing line of nutritionals. And I was so excited to see the nutritionals that Nikken had developed, because they're full spectrum. They really cover everything to support the body. If you have a special need, yeah, you might need to get a bigger dose. But if you want true support to let your body do as much as it can, Nikken, you can't find a better panoply of nutritionals. If you're watching the video, we have a couple of our unique products here in the nutritional category. Osteodens is amazing. It's based on the large molecule that's in mother's milk that supports the growth of healthy bone. And we have this in our body, but it kind of diminishes as we age, and it's possible for our bones to get weak. And then you have, all these awful side effects from the medications that stop the bones from moving minerals in and out. But they do need to move in and out, because your bones are your mineral bank. And this supplement has no side effects, because it just enhances the body's ability to do what it is meant to do, to keep the bones and the minerals doing what they're supposed to do. So that's just one example of our top nutritionals. And you may see the wonderful antioxidant drink there, all exotic fruits and nothing added. And you'll see that over and over again, that Nikken sources their nutritionals from organic as much as possible. Many of our products are certified organic and are designed to support the different functions of the body, so you don't need to be a nutrition expert to know how to use them. We have a wonderful eco-certified skincare line that everybody loves, and I'm going to move on to the environment products. The water filters 3 or 4 different ways. It adds important ions that make what's called pi water in Japan, living water, and then it adds back alkaline minerals and magnetizes the water. So it does at least 5 different things that nature does to purify and energize water. Our air system, likewise, does everything nature does to cleanse water. It takes all the impurities out, and then it creates the beneficial negative ions that will dispel the effects of the buildup of positive ions in our homes. The light, like I said, is full spectrum, no flickering because it's LED. And that funny little thing on the picture is our shower system, which also creates the fine mag water, filters it, energizes it, and creates micro bubbles that help cleanse and moisturize and feel fantastic. The signature line of Nikken from the start is their magnetic technology, and it's now combined with far infrared, which is a natural warming from solar energy. So that's in the insoles. That wonderful little square is for the back, the MagFlex, and then, of course, the sleep system. And you cannot force the body with drugs into a deep sleep, but the Earth's magnetic field will do it. And the comforter that gives you the far infrared warming, so your body is totally comfortable, so you're able to stay asleep for those full 4 or 5 cycles you need to completely restore your body. And the pillow has the magnetics and ergonomics as well. So I want to move on to get to our guest to share his experiences. Thank you, Dan. If you can unmute yourself, and I'll stop my share here. Dan, you unmuted yourself. Okay. So I want to welcome Dan Brock. He's also an independent wellness consultant and in the process of moving. So thank you very much for giving us of your valuable time, Dan. But if you go ahead and share what caught your attention about Nikken Technologies and some of your experiences.
Thank you, Randy. This has been a phenomenal experience just to learn what this company is doing. Nikken is doing the research and development in things that we didn't know that were available to help our bodies to stay healthy or to get healthy in areas where we may be hurting. What caught my attention to begin with, earlier in your slides, you showed a pad that contains magnets. Who would have believed that that would be of any value to us? My next door neighbor hurt her back very seriously lifting something at work and went for a year in excruciating discomfort. I mean, she was hurting badly. And the doctors examined and said, well, we'll do some injections up and down your spine and see if that'll help. It didn't. That's not what the body needed. And they said, well, we'll eventually have to do surgery, but you'll just have to, we'll send you to class and let you learn how to live with pain until that point. She happened to learn about a friend of hers who had gotten dramatic results from a car accident and had recovered from her hurting. And so Charlotte tried this pad, put it in her waistband, wore it for about 30, 40 minutes, and called her husband and said, I don't know what this is, but my back for the first time in a year isn't hurting. And from that, a launch pad that she and her husband used, shared these products with thousands of people and helped an enormous number of people to find balance. And the body is looking for balance, whether it's what we do to ourselves, what we consume, or what the environment does to us. Nikken has found some solutions that were in nature and we didn't know about. And as a result of that, Charlotte got a change. It changed her life. It changed what she was able to do. She's now able to have free range of movement. She does all sorts of things that there's no way on earth she could have done back then. And so the magnetics are something that were put here for our benefit, and we didn't know it. And Nikken did the research in magnetics. They continually update and improve and increase the effectiveness of what these products will do for our lifestyle. Our bodies are looking for balance, and Nikken is helping to provide that. Another instance of something that our bodies need that we didn't know we needed was you showed a product called Osteodense. My wife, Jean, some years ago, was dealing with kidney stones, and she had had one, past that, had a terrible experience with that, and then she came down with another kidney stone. When they x-rayed her, they said that's about the size of a golf ball. And, you know, how are you going to pass that? And as a result of using some of the magnetic products, they went through I think it's called lithotripsy, where they actually pounded the stone with sound waves. Half of it was relieved from that, and of course we were using the magnetics as well at the same time. And then she went back for the doctor to examine the other half that was left, and he said, "It's gone. We don't know. We can't explain it. It's gone. Whatever it is you're doing, continue doing it." The medical profession is constricted, restrained from going into some of these natural remedies, and yet Nikken has given us the opportunity to say, try something natural. And as a result of now using the osteodents, which Dr. Naidu has developed for our benefit, the body draws on this natural product and distributes calcium to all the organs of the body, and helps the body to use the calcium that isn't ordinarily used. That's why it was built up as a kidney stone, because the body wasn't using the calcium properly. As a result of that, we're talking probably 15 to 20 years. I would say 15 years. She has not had any problem at all with kidney stones. She was dealing with what the doctor described as osteopenia, which is the precursor of serious bone loss and bone degeneration. Now that she's been taking the osteodents, she has gone back to the doctors, and they say, "You are normal. Whatever it is you've done, keep doing it." And so as a result of using the osteodents, she now has normal, healthy bones, and we're not spring chickens anymore. So you kind of expect the bones to be deteriorating. They're not for her. She's dealing with it admirably, and is living a really full and exciting life, and not having to deal with these issues. So what Nikken has given us is balance in our life, to where the body can go back and fix itself and deal with the issues that it really wants to take care of. If I have time, I'd like to give one more example of serendipity. You didn't know what the products would do for us, and we were at a get-together of some people who were looking at the Nikken products, and a young lady who had brain cancer and had an operation to remove that tumor. She recovered admirably, except that she did have some residual problems. So one had to do with her eyes. She had, especially towards evening, she would have dizziness and a lack of focus. And she said, "Well, this is normal. This is just the way it is." We were at this get-together, and the lady who was running the presentation looked at her and said, "Is there something wrong? You look like you're in discomfort." And she explained that normally this time of day she loses the focus and the ability to operate her eyes properly. And she had said that a doctor had done injections into her eye that would help correct the problem for a while, and the doctor had gone away. She no longer had access to him, and so she didn't know how to get this procedure done. The lady told her, "Liz, why don't you try and put one of the magnetic necklaces around your neck and see if that helps you." Well, who would believe something like that would correct such a major problem like this? My wife was sitting next to her. Jean gave her her necklace to put on her neck, and about 20 minutes later, Liz said, "My eyes have cleared up. I'm not having the problem." And that was unusual in her circumstance. Who knew that putting a magnetic necklace around her neck was what the body was needing? And as a result of that, she's not dealing with that issue anymore, and she's not having those awful injections. So again, Nikken is giving us some things to work with that are not being studied by the medical profession, and yet we have access to them, and we're helping an awful lot of people where they don't have answers otherwise, and it's changing people's lives, and lifestyles are getting better through gaining this type of product or this type of resource that the body is really looking for and needing.
Oh, thanks, Dan. That you put it so well. I love that you say, who knew? We just don't realize what our body is capable of when it's given what it really needs, whether it's the nutrition, the magnetic field, the osteodens, the good sleep. I like to say nobody knows how good they can feel, how healthy they can be until they have using all Nikken's technologies. I love those stories, and especially so often people will say, well, I'm under medical care, you know, I've had surgery, but your story was so excellent to demonstrate that even then the residual effects, small things that affect your life every day, can still get better because the body's always trying to heal, always trying to get back to balance. I mean, that's what living things do. So those were great stories, and really appreciate it. Can you make so we just have another minute or two? Oh, sorry for the noise. My husband's using my printer. Oh, well. A few comments on, you've been with Nikken a while, and you both are very healthy, you and Jean, and what comments would you like to make about the anti-aging effects of Nikken? You mentioned that none of us are spring chickens anymore. Could you just address that for a moment?
Well, I haven't aged, I guess, like I should. What can I say? Quite honestly, I had very few problems that I was dealing with when I came across this. My main issue was I was having problems in my bank account, and I had no way of retiring. I was a dental technician. I had my own business, but I had no way of retiring from it. So I was going to be there until I fell off my chair and somebody collected my insurance. As a result of Nikken, it has provided me with an opportunity to give and share with other people something that is desperately needed, and other people have no access and no resource, and we're able to say, why don't you try this? This can make a difference in your life. And as a result, it has provided income and a career that is fun. You know, it's not something you dread going to every day. It provides you with a resource that it's open-ended, and also because we are dealing with other people who have had tremendous experience, just like those who are on this call, we can call on other people's expertise and gain a lot of information. That's why these calls are so valuable, because we hear how this has worked for so many hundreds of other people. We have a resource that is just fabulous, and it's fun. It's a great joy, and it's a great resource, especially for those of us who are wanting to supplement our income.
Well, thank you. Thank you for that comment. That comes kind of full circle when I said stress is the biggest killer. And you're just describing how doing something really fun, sharing something that people don't even know about that can really help them, that's real low stress, and it's real fun. So thanks very much, Dan. I appreciate you sharing, and good luck with your moving and everything.
We're having fun with that too.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yeah. It's a chance to kind of clear the decks and renew everything. And I'll see you in Texas very soon. And so thank you.
Y'all come down here.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go back to my last slide here just to encourage everybody to discover Nikken, live it, and share it. Become a customer. It's so easy. Just register like on any other website, Amazon or whatever, and you will be able to get started with your Nikken products, and start somewhere with the air, the water, the insoles, the wonderful MagFlex that Dan described for your back. Just start somewhere, and you will discover how good your body can feel. And then if you're interested in sharing with others, you can be a part-time entrepreneur or even a full-time entrepreneur, saying goodbye to your boss. So please go back with the person who sent you to this webinar, and also check out all the other live calls. There are some specifically on individual technologies, and there's some on how to build a business if you want, and there are many more on the product showcases so that you can hear many other stories. So thanks again, Dan, and thank you all for being on board for our call, and I'll see you on the Nikken Highway.
You have a great day.
Thanks, you too.